Your baby is lying there, perfectly content. Then suddenly they're hauling themselves onto your chest, your stomach, your lap, anywhere that isn't the floor. You laugh, shift them off, and move on. But that moment is one of the most biologically intelligent things your baby's nervous system knows how to do. And what's driving it runs far deeper than most parents ever realize. Once you understand what's actually happening when your baby climbs on you, you'll never see it the same way again. 1. It's not clinginess, it's biology. The word clingy carries judgment. It implies the baby is being demanding, developing a bad habit, building dependence you'll regret later. The cultural message is clear. They should be able to settle on their own. Here's what the research actually says. In the first year of life, a baby's core physiological systems, heart rate, cortisol, body temperature, breathing, are not mature enough to self-regulate. The neural architecture that makes self-regulation possible hasn't been built yet. This isn't a personality trait, it's developmental physiology. Because they can't regulate themselves, they need someone to regulate with. That someone is you. Harvard's Center on the Developing Child calls this co-regulation, the process by which a calm caregiver's nervous system helps organize a baby's dysregulated one. When your baby presses against your body, your breathing influences theirs, your heartbeat steadies theirs, your calm becomes something they can physically borrow. A study in biological psychiatry found that infants with consistent physical contact showed significantly lower cortisol levels and more stable autonomic nervous system functioning than infants whose contact was limited. Their bodies were calmer because your body was teaching them how to be calm. You were functioning as the regulatory system they haven't grown yet. That's not clinginess. That's intelligence. 2. There's a sound they know better than your voice. Before your baby heard you speak, before they saw your face, before they felt your arms around them, they knew your heartbeat. For 9 months, every moment of their existence was organized around that rhythm. Their nervous system didn't just hear it, it built itself around it. Then birth happened, and that rhythm disappeared. When your baby climbs onto your chest, specifically your chest, they are returning to the most familiar signal their brain has ever known. Research into the kangaroo care effect, developed for premature infants, and since studied in healthy newborns, found that chest-to-chest contact produced measurable reductions in infant stress, improved sleep, and stronger early brain development. The mechanism isn't only warmth or smell, though both matter. It's the heartbeat, the same rhythm that structured their entire prenatal world, still structuring their sense of safety now. This is why a screaming baby can go quiet the moment they land on your chest. It isn't luck. It's a nervous system encountering a signal it was calibrated to recognize before it could recognize anything else. 3. They're making sure you still exist. This one takes a moment to really land, because it requires stepping inside a brain that doesn't yet have all the tools adults take completely for granted. For the first several months of life, babies have no concept of object permanence, the understanding that things continue to exist when they're out of sight. For your baby, when you leave the room, you don't go somewhere else. You cease to exist. There's no internal placeholder, no quiet reassurance that says she'll be back soon. Just a space where you were, and now there's nothing. Sit with that for a second. The most important person in your baby's world, the person their entire survival depends on, keeps disappearing without explanation, over and over again. That's the reality their brain is living in. Object permanence gradually develops somewhere between 8 and 12 months. But in the window before it does, every time you walk out of the room, your baby experiences something their nervous system has no framework to make sense of yet. When your baby climbs on you, part of what they're doing is confirming you're still real. Still warm, still solid, still here. The contact isn't just comfort, it's verification. You exist. I can feel you. The world hasn't fallen apart. This also explains why separation anxiety peaks at 9 to 12 months, exactly when object permanence is being actively constructed. The climbing and clinging during this window isn't regression. It's the leading edge of a brain learning something enormous, that the world is continuous, that absence isn't disappearance, that you persist even when out of sight. Your baby isn't being needy. They're becoming smarter, and you are the evidence they keep returning to again and again until they no longer need to. 4. They're asking you a question. Your face is the answer. Around 6 to 9 months, something shifts. The climbing becomes more deliberate. Your baby doesn't just seek you out. They seek you out, make contact, and immediately look up at your face. They want something specific, a response. Developmental researchers call this social referencing, using a caregiver's emotional expression as information about the world. Your baby climbs onto you and reads your face to answer a question. Their brain runs constantly. Is this safe? Are you calm? Are we okay? A University of California study found that infants as young as 8 months clearly adjusted their own emotional responses based on their caregiver's expression in ambiguous situations. Warm and relaxed, baby settles. Anxious or distracted, baby unsettles, even when nothing in the environment had changed. Your face, in that moment, is part of what they came for. The physical contact is the question. Your expression is the answer. When you look down at them with ease, you're telling their nervous system, yes, we're fine. The world is safe today. When you look stressed or absent, even without a word, you're telling them something different. This isn't pressure to perform happiness you don't feel. It's simply an invitation to understand what your baby is actually asking every time they reach for you. They want to know how the world is, and your face tells them. 5. Every time you receive them, you're building something that lasts decades. This is the part that's easy to lose sight of, especially when you're exhausted, especially when your body hasn't felt like your own in weeks, especially when you've been climbed on for the 4th time in an hour, and you just need 5 minutes where nobody is touching you. In those moments, it doesn't feel like you're doing something significant. It feels like you're just surviving the day. But here's what's actually happening beneath the surface of those ordinary moments. Every time you let your baby reach you, every time you hold them instead of immediately redirecting, every time you receive their climbing with presence rather than resistance, you are making a deposit into a developmental account whose returns will compound for the rest of their life. That account is called secure attachment. The Minnesota longitudinal study of risk and adaptation followed individuals from infancy into their 30s. Children who formed secure attachments in infancy grew into adults with stronger emotional regulation, more stable relationships, greater resilience under stress, and better long-term mental health compared to insecurely attached peers. Not because they were more capable, not because they had greater advantages, because someone consistently showed up when they reached out. The baby who climbs on you and is met with warmth is building a foundational belief about reality. When I reach out, I am met. When I'm overwhelmed, safety is available. When I can't manage alone, I can find help. That belief, built through thousands of small physical moments in the first year, becomes the invisible foundation beneath every close relationship they'll ever have. Every friendship, every partnership, every moment of trusting another person. You are not spoiling them. You cannot spoil a baby through presence. What you're doing in the unremarkable moment of letting them stay instead of moving them off is writing the first chapter of their understanding of what it means to be close to another person. Write it well. 6. And when it becomes too much. what actually helps. None of this means you must be unconditionally available every hour without limit. You are a person. Your body is yours. And a depleted, dysregulated parent cannot be the steady nervous system a baby needs. Taking care of yourself is not in competition with taking care of them. It is part of it. So what does the research support when you genuinely need space? It's not about whether you step away. It's about how. When you need to put your baby down, narrate it. I'm going to set you here for a bit. I'm right here. Your voice, continuing after the physical contact ends, bridges the gap. It tells their nervous system, you haven't vanished. The connection has just changed form. Research on infant distress consistently shows it's not separation itself that spikes stress. It's abrupt, unannounced separation. A baby placed down gently, with words, by a parent who stays visible and vocal, settles significantly faster than one placed down without transition. So take the 5 minutes, breathe, eat. Let your body be your own for a moment, and then go back. Because that return, repeated across hundreds of moments in the early years, carries its own message. One of the most important you'll ever send. I always come back. Absorbed over time, that message becomes the foundation of trust. And trust, built early, is the foundation of everything else. When your baby climbs on you, they are not being a problem. They are being a baby, doing exactly what evolution shaped them to do, seeking the one body their nervous system recognizes as safe, borrowing your heartbeat to calm their own, confirming you still exist, asking you, without any words, how is the world today? And in the way you receive that, with warmth, with presence, with the willingness to be found, you are answering a question they will carry the answer to for the rest of their lives. Am I worth reaching for? Make sure they know the answer is yes.